Welcome to the intermediate Tekken 8 guide. Now I'm going to talk to you about stuff that I think you should learn. We're going to talk about frame data, heat, grabs, recoverable health. So first things first, we're going to talk about frame data. So usually when you pick up a character, the first thing you want to learn is obviously how to poke with the character. So poking is like quick moves that recover, right? You know, like down forward one is usually the go-to move. You got your jabs, which is obviously +1, usually around the +1 side. Some characters might have more, but it's usually +1. So +1 being a 10 frame move and coming out with a +1 means that your next jab will come out in 9 frames. So if someone tries to jab you back, that means you're gonna win, right? So this is like kind of like your little jab boxing match that you do. Look. So no one else can like jab you back. So they have to try and figure out another way, whether they're duck or whether they'll reverse or whether they sidestep, right? Because jabs are linear. That's when you mix it up with like, you know, 1-2 jabs. In Dragunov's case, he does 2-1 because he has a G cliff, which is 1-2-1. But most characters have, you know, 1-2, right? So this is when you speed it up. But when you do this stuff like this, you're minus. So then that means it is your opponent's turn. Obviously down forward ones, usually again they're around -1, 2, 3. Some characters have -6 like Devil Jin and Leroy. But yeah, this is kind of like where you start adding stuff like this. And then you've got stuff like strings. So like strings are a sequence of moves. Obviously if I do down forward 1-4, that is a sequence, right? And known as a string. So if you do this, if he blocks both, you're -7. But he can duck the second part, right? So that's how it works. If a move jails, which means you cannot duck, that's why I call it jailing, because there's no get out card. Like it goes together, right? I don't think Dragunov has anything like that where you cannot duck. But there are other characters where if they do a move, you cannot duck like the second or third hit. But yeah, this does not gel. But the term gel means obviously you cannot get out of it. You can't duck, you can't sidestep. Both moves are gonna hit on block, or both moves are gonna hit like both moves are gonna hit, or they're gonna hit on block. It's as simple as that. So yeah, when it comes to like finding characters, you have to like work on the safe and unsafe moves. So are you gonna take a big gamble? Are you gonna take a big risk? Sometimes like, you know, with launchers, you got down forward 2, which is like -12. You've got while standing 2, if you blocked, -12. Like, are you gonna take that big risk? Are you gonna look for a counter hit? Some of Dragunov's moves do counter hit stuff. You also got like stuff like this, which is forward down forward 1. That is -3 on block, but if I hit my opponent, it's guaranteed to get a combo, right? So these moves are better to throw out because you get a combo, right? Into whatever combo you want to do. But yeah, these moves are better to throw out because they are going to hit, right? And they're going to give you a good combo. Then obviously moves like down forward 2, if this blocked, then you can get punished. So it's up to you on what moves you want to choose. Alright, so frame traps are slower moves than jabs and down forward 1. So frame traps would be playing on the frame. So like, you know, using slower moves. Like back 1+2 for Dragunov. This is slower. This starts at 22 frames. A jab starts at 10. But this move is +6 on block, so that means you can now use moves that are, you know, within 16 frames or quicker, and you will always beat your opponent. If it's on the 16th frame, you will trade. But if I use this move, I'll be +6. There's a lot of other moves that you can use, like running 2, which I'm +6. And then you've also got like frames that you could use when they're on hit as well. But I still want to talk about like frame trapping. So like, say for example, if I done a move like this and it's against the wall, or even just out in the open, I now have access to do a mid move or a low move or a high. So a jab will be quick. I can do this into down 2. They have to block. You know, they have to guess. So this is why you would want to frame trap your opponents. The frame traps, like again, like I'll say to finish that part off, is slower moves, but they give more plus. You know, you would want to get plus. so that you have a better opportunity of hitting your opponent or striking your opponent. If you hit someone, for example, say for example I hit someone, you get plus frames as well by hitting them. So as you can see, down forward 1 gives me +7. If I get a jab, +8. If I get a 2 jab, +9. So you should catch the drift. As the more you hit an opponent, the more you're going to be plus. Some moves on hit don't give plus, as like, you know, generic down 4 doesn't give plus. But the big hitting moves, they give plus frames on block and usually on hit. It's up to you to find the moves with your characters, as every character has unique frame traps for when they're fighting against their opponent. Alright, so this part of the video, we're going to talk about Whiff Punishment. So Whiff Punishment is when someone is doing a move and you either do a punish or you launch them up in the air. So usually they'll throw out an attack, and you can either sidestep, side walk, or you can backdash their attack, and then you can launch them. So first things first, I've got Victor to do a jab and then forward 1+2. So let's look at this. I can side walk it both ways, right? I could probably backdash it as well into a combo, right? So as you can see, that is what you call a whiff punishment, when you can see an attack, bait it out, you know, either by side walking or side stepping, and the attack is there, the active frames are there, but because it didn't hit, they now have recovery frames, and in those recovery frames you are now able to do launching attack because they are now vulnerable, they can't defend. So this is what you call whiff punishment. And then you do whatever combo you want to do. Seeing as we're talking about frames, advantage, disadvantage, recovery and stuff like that, let's talk about heat very quickly. We're going to talk about heat in the next section, but just for plus and minus frames, I'm going to speak about it now. So as you can see, if I use heat here, +1, right? If I use my heat smash, if you block, I'm +6, right? If I now do something like this against the wall, +1 again, right? If I do this, still +6. Some characters have heat smashes where they go against the wall and then they have extra plus because it has wall crush. Wall crush is a mechanic that was introduced to Tekken in Tekken 7 at the end of it, where if a move strikes you while you're blocking and it becomes that powerful that you hit the wall and then you move forward, and then they have more advantage frames. You can still block, but you cannot low parry or do anything like that. You could just block either mid or high attacks, or you can press down back to block low attacks. If you have heat engages, you can use them and use a heat dash. Now let's say for example I'm Dragonoff and I want to do this. You can see that I was +18, and this is across the board, +18. So as you can see, these are his heat engages, right? Now if I now do it in the open, the plus frames look quite different, and as you saw that was the wall crush animation. If I do it open, look, I'm only +5, but when you're against the wall, it changes. I know heat is such a new mechanic, and I've done a video about this before, but there's some interesting things that I've figured out about heat. Like you could actually use heat burst as a mechanic for defense. So say for example, if someone's pressuring you, you could use heat burst like this, which is obviously 2+3. But be careful, because if someone throws you while you're doing heat burst, you can not break the throw. And also as well, if they do a low and the animation is very close to you activating heat burst, you will get hit with your opponent's attack because it's so close to you. Like it's happened to me a couple of times where I'm like, raw, how has this hit me when I've just done heat burst? But yeah, it's because the low attack has hit me while I'm doing heat burst. Obviously, there's other ways to use heat burst. So I use heat burst in for defensive ways. So if like someone's trying to attack me, I'll then just do this. Or if I've got plus frames and I'm doing stuff like, let's say for example, I'm doing running 2 with Dragunov, I'm plus 6, right? Heat burst is 15 frames. So that means when I do running 2, heat burst is coming out at 9 frames, right? Because I'm plus 6 here. So if I do this, coming out at 9 frames, so it gives me the extra pressure, right? There's even like other little strats you can do as well, like, you know, do a low and then do heat smash, because I mean heat burst, because usually if you're on full crouch, people try to do while standing 4 stuff like that. So, and obviously heat burst has armor properties, sorry. So if it has armor properties, if you try to do like while standing 4, this will work. So yeah, or you could do like big plus on hit lows like this. This is plus 7. So you could do it like that to get into heat. But yeah, it's entirely up to you. The thing that I want to let you lot know about heat burst is heat burst and, you know, heat engages are 2 different ways to get into heat. Obviously you have other heat mechanics, but those are while you're active in heat. So like you have heat smash and heat dash. They can only be done when you have heat activated. I'm trying to tell you stuff about heat right now. So like while your bar is there and it's ready to be activated, I personally like using heat engagers, and the reason why I like using heat engagers is because it recovers your recoverable health, which we're going to talk about later on in this video. Recoverable health can, well, it depends on how much you have, but it does recover quite a lot of health if you use heat engagers, whereas heat burst does not do that. So, you know, most characters have 5 heat engagers, as you can see here. You can find your heat engagers usually where it says heat moves. So, you know, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he actually has 6. Majority of the characters usually have around 5, 6, but 5 is that kind of like the minimum that they will have. I can't show you this practice mode because you can't lower the health and show recoverable health and all of those things, which I think is kind of annoying for doing videos like this. But yeah, if I do heat engager, you like this, you can see the green, so it shows recoverable. When your life bar flashes green, it means you are recovering health, right? Another way how to use heat burst is usually in an attack like this. So if you want to use a combo and you want to spike them into the floor, this is when you would use heat burst. So you can do, I don't know, say for a combo, I want to continue on the combo, I'm going to use heat burst, and then I'll do whatever else afterwards. So that's how it usually works. Right, I'm ready to do heat burst, spike them in the ground, and then I can continue on my combo and heat is activated and the bar is going down. Usually with majority of characters, they have access to new moves and stuff like that. Dragunov has access to moves. So like this is unbreakable when he's in heat, and he has access to a few other stuff. I'll show you some examples of characters that can do stuff in heat only. But yeah, moving on from that part. So that's heat burst. You could do heat cancel as well. This I would use when I'm near an opponent around here and I want to activate heat, but I don't want to get hit, because if you activate heat like this, you could get whiff punished, right? So you want to activate it in a range where it's like, okay, I'm here. The other way of getting into heat is heat engagers, like I said. And yeah, I think that is it. So you have heat burst, heat engagers, and you have heat cancel, right? So then now you have, when you're in heat, let's go into it. You now have access to heat smash, which is like this ultimate attack while you're in heat, and it basically finishes your whole bar. So you don't want to use this at the start. So like, say for example, me using this now, I don't get no extra damage for using it. Like any heat smash move, you get the same damage regardless. So what you want to try and do is try and annoy your opponent, right? You have access to all your moves chipping down your opponent. So look, this chips, look, jab chips. Very small though. So when it's getting low, you then use it. But be careful, don't make it run too low, because people will try to combo you, and then they will try to, like, you know, they'll try to make sure that you don't use it. So yeah, just be careful. And then you also have heat dash, which is basically heat engages, but you can cancel them by pressing your heat button, which is, my one is R2, or you can hold forward after remove. That is a heat engager. So let's say, for example, back 4-3 is a heat engager for Dragunov. I could do that. And look how much chip damage there is. Crazy. And this stuff against the wall is, it's a game changer, man. Look, so against the wall, it does wall crush property. So what that means is that it adds extra properties against the wall, because the attack is basically a heavy attack. So it pushes them against the wall and makes them kind of fall to the ground, or fall to the knee, should I say. Let's see what the animation looks like. Yeah, so they fall to their knee, but they can still block. They can block high, mid, and they can block low, but they can't low parry. Depending, if you do like a quick attack, let's say for example I did this, I down two. I don't think they can, no, they actually cannot low parry. They have to block. Down 4 as well, so yeah, they don't have enough frames to low parry. Sometimes I would say it's good to either use a heat dash if you're doing a combo, or use it against the wall for the added pressure and chip damage, because the chip damage is actually ridiculous in this game. So I'm about to go in and use my heat burst. I didn't even do it, 1 second. I'm about to use my heat burst. After I've done my tornado, heat burst, and then do another attack. So this is how it works. It's like combo, tornado, heat burst, and then, you know, your heat engager, cancel that with heat dash, and then do an attack again. But usually you have to do like a big strong attack. So I'll show you examples of that. But yeah, that's how heat works. All right, so we're gonna go over the throw system. So as you know, King is probably the best character when it comes to throws. He has a wide range of throws. So obviously you have a 1 break throw, 2 break throw, 1+2. Then you have the generic throws. Every character has a generic throw. And then some characters that are less privileged have a 1+2 throw. Then you have characters that have a 1 break, 2 break, 1+2. And then you have characters that have like so many throws, which is King. So King has, you know, 1+2. He has giant swing, right? Tsunami, and then he has whatever else throws that he does have. Now, the best way how to break most of these throws are by looking at the arm. So, you know, 1 break, 2 break, and then 1+2, right? King is the only character that can extend his throws moving forward. I don't know if people actually knew that, but yeah, he's the only character that can extend these throws moving forward in Tekken 8, like how it was in Tekken 7. So these are just generic throws. So you could break generic throws with either 1 or 2. But then when it comes to like the other throws, oh, sorry, I done perfect input. But yeah, when it comes to these ones, and look at their arm. That's all you need to do. Look at their arm and it will show you which ones to break. Obviously, you have ultimate tackle as well. Breaking ultimate tackle is 1+2, right? To break this is 1+2. You don't want them to like be doing like punches and all of these things. Yeah, so you have to break it with 1+2. And then there's some throws that are unbreakable. There's one throw from Nina that is unbreakable. And I'm going to show you that right now. So the throw with Nina that is unbreakable is, if I do remember that, we're going to put it onto opponent throw escapes. You cannot break this throw, as you can see. You could break the follow-ups, but just not that throw. So yeah, be careful, because it's a pretty big deal, because you could just basically end the match with this. So yeah, that is throws explained. In Tekken 8, crouch throws are not escapable. In the previous games like Tekken 7, you could escape with 1, 2, or 1+2. However, in this game, currently in the version 1.3 with Eddie, it is not escapable. If connected, it means it's guaranteed. The only way to escape is by standing, jumping, and everything else other than crouching. But if you're crouching, it is guaranteed. Another thing I would like to add is that there's some throws in this game that delete recoverable health. Now, the best way to check those throws out is by checking for this icon here, right? This orange icon will tell you what moves delete recoverable health. And these are very crucial in not allowing your opponent to come back in a match. Because in Tekken 8, when people are comboing you, you don't realize how much health they actually get when they're recovering from just comboing or doing something so minor. You're just like, wow, look how much health they got back. So you want to stop that from happening. You got to look for these type of throws and stuff like that. There's also attacks as well. So like even Nina in Heat, if Nina does Heat, this move deletes recoverable health, right? There's also that as well. So it's quite interesting, to be honest. It's quite interesting what moves delete recoverable health and throws and stuff like that as well. And then last but not least, there is a throw that I do want to talk to you a lot about, because I feel like people do not know that are casuals in this game. They'll be like, oh, how am I getting hit by this throw? Now, this is Azucena's low grab throw. So Azucena's low grab throw is done by pressing down 1+2. Right? So that's Azucena's low grab throw. Now, you can't break this throw with 1, 2, or 1+2. You have to break it by pressing down. Right? It's quite an annoying throw. You have to be ready for it. Like, you have to be ready. Like, I know it's going to be difficult when she's doing the running 3-2s and stuff like that. You could also do this as well. You could even hold down back, and it will automatically do it straight away. But if you're standing and you're not like looking out for it, literally press down. But you have to be, I think personally you have to be quick. And you're also +4 as well. And the thing about this throw, the reason why I think that's good being +4 is because you can throw out like a down forward one if you feel like they're gonna press. Just to wrap this up, just a quick overview when you're picking up characters and stuff like that. Like, the best thing you want to do is learn what your quick poking moves are. Like jab, down forward one, your lows, that quick lows. This is 18 frames, this is 15 frames. Like, your quick moves, right? Then you start looking for like the big lows. You ain't gonna throw this out frequently unless you feel confident enough to throw it out without your opponent blocking them. This move here, if my opponent blocked this, they can crouch, block, and launch me. So you have to be careful. You have to throw it in when you feel like they're not gonna block, right? You can also throw things out to kind of like disguise it, like a plus on block move. If they're blocking a plus on block move, then they probably don't wanna get launched. Because obviously you got moves that launch like this. So they're going to be like thinking twice about like blocking low or crouching low, because it leaves them vulnerable to mid attacks. So there's also that. So that would be your main game plan when you're starting. Obviously, if you feel like you ain't got that much health, you have to figure out when you're going to come in, right? When you're going to come into this area where you can actually attack. So if I feel like, all right, cool, I need to come in, I'll probably come in with a running kick or a running move. So Dragunov has running 2. So I'd probably come from a distance here, running 2 and get my plus. All running kicks, running slash kicks and stuff like that are plus on block. So if Leo was blocking on like this, +6. And also does chip damage. All of them do chip damage, right? So you would want to do this to start your offense. Then you have to think about like what does your character do in terms of launches? Like obviously there's down forward 2. There's up forward 4 as well. Up forward 4 is a good move and it gives like a mini combo. But it all depends like what you're trying to look for. If you're trying to look for launches and then proper combos, you need to look at like what move launches. Down forward 2 launches, while standing 2 launches, QCF 2 launches. So now I have a bunch of launches, right? Then I have to think about counter hit moves. So like, or even moves that stun like this. So this move stuns. So I use forward, down, forward 1. And then I get a combo. Whatever combo you want to do. So like, I'll just do a quick combo like that, right? Once they're stunned like this, that means you get a nice proper combo. Obviously there's other mini combos as well, so like, you know, Dragunov's mini combo would be up forward 4, down 3 1, down 3 1 3, no, down 4 1 3. So if you get this, you get a nice little mini combo. Or you could do down 3 2 1 plus 2 into, let me do it one more time. So it's entirely up to you which one you want to go for. I would go for the one that's more damage, and the one that's more damage is down 3 2 1 plus 2. People would say, oh yeah, you can go on to like the sample combos, because the sample combos does show you some stuff, right? But if you want the actual like maximum optimal combos, you're better off just watching players and seeing what top players are playing your character and see what type of combos there are. Because Dragunov has like really good combos, right? And I would probably, if I was trying to learn Dragunov, I'd probably look at JDCR, I would look at Nobi, people like that. They're like world-class players, and see what type of stuff they do and then learn and put it into my own gameplay. But if you want like standard combos, you can do those. But the standard combos are usually packed with a launcher or a stun move, and then your fillers. So that this is a filler right now, and then a tornado attack, and then you need a combo ender. If you want to do longer combos, same scenario. So you'd use your filler, tornado, heat burst, and then whatever else. But then some characters have other things as well, so I'm going to show you just a basic one. Tornado, and then you got this spin move again, and then you could use your heat dash. I mean, not your heat dash, your heat smash. So again, spin move to keep them spinning in the air, so you could use your heat burst, and then you could do it again depending on what character you use. You could do it again, and then you could potentially use your heat dash. So I'm just gonna explain how the heat dashes work. So you usually do stuff like this, and then you do your heat engager. So wherever your heat engager is, so whether it's be like forward 3 1 plus 2, you can do that. You can do it raw, or you could do it in a combo. So like this. And then you do like one big attack, like a shoulder barge or something big that does quite good damage. As I was saying, the combos, they definitely matter in this game. You know, I like Victor. I think Victor's a pretty cool character. So when I do stuff like this, I can't even do combos now. What's going on? As you can see, that does a lot of damage because I had done one of my heat engagers, turned that into a heat dash, and then I done a big attack afterwards. So yeah, in this game there's a bunch of stuff that you can use at the right time. I think power crushes are stuff that you need to use when you feel like you're being pressured quite a lot. Does really good, and it obviously absorbs attacks. You're vulnerable to low attacks, and it also acts as a counter hit. If you say, for example, if I did a power crush and someone does like a low, it will have a counter hit status on it, so just be careful. You can't throw it out all the time. And then on top of it, I would say when your life is low, always remember, don't go fully in, because they're gonna throw a rage art out, or they're gonna do something, so you have to be careful. Sometimes maybe even just throw. Even if they break the throw, just throw them and see what they're gonna do, and just kind of like attack accordingly. If you feel like you're being rushed down, you could also use heat burst as well to kind of stop the pressure. And sometimes you feel like someone's gonna come in, you could just throw out a launcher, like, you know, to see what they're gonna do, and then get your combo in. So I'd mix up with either a low, a launcher, or just, you know, something. I'm trying to finish them off, but I'm also trying to not die by a random rager or a random heat smash or anything like that. So yeah, just know how to kind of like defend, but also know how to like, don't sit there like don't stand there like a sitting duck. You have to kind of like make sure that they have to respect your defense. So you would have to throw out something at least, and that's what this game is basically about. It's about like just managing. It's an aggressive game, but it's about managing where to place your aggressiveness. Is now the right time when they've got heat? Maybe I should defend a bit. Is there a way I can kind of like maybe just grab them and just kind of like make it run down? Is there a way I can launch them and just get them to the wall and apply pressure, stuff like that. But yeah, this has been the King J Intermediate Guide. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to subscribe. It helps support and keeps me motivated to do a video like this. I've been planning this for a while, but you know, I just kind of wanted to stream and stuff like that. But we've got it finally finished. So yeah, hope you enjoy it, and yeah, we'll be on to the next one. Peace.